Good morning, Virgo. Victory over what exactly? That's where we begin. Not with promises, not with declarations about who wants you blind to what information. We start with the word itself. Victory. Triumph over opposition. Conquest of challenge. Success after struggle. Um, but what's the opponent? What's being conquered? What struggle are we even talking about? Because if you can't name the battle, if you can't identify the enemy, if you can't articulate what winning actually looks like, then victory is just another empty word, another placeholder for vague future satisfaction, another way of saying someday things will feel better without defining better or acknowledging that someday never arrives on its own. So, what battle are you fighting? Name it specifically right now. Palms sweating though temperature hasn't changed. Someone doesn't want you to see this. Classic framing creates intrigue, suggests forbidden knowledge, implies you're being kept from something important by forces that fear your access to truth. Conspiracy, suppression, hidden information revealed despite attempts to conceal it. Accept. Who's this someone? Name them, give them form, make them concrete instead of shadowy antagonist in your personal narrative. Can't, won't, don't actually know, then maybe they don't exist. Maybe the someone who doesn't want you to see this is just narrative device, story structure, way of making ordinary information feel special by suggesting it's restricted. Or alternative, the someone who doesn't want you to see this clearly. It's you. You're the one invested in staying blind, in not seeing what's actually in front of you, in avoiding the reality that would require you to change, choose, act differently than you're comfortable acting. You're the obstruction, not some external force. You, spine tingles like cold water running down vertebrae. Victory is coming, future tense, arrival implied, success approaching from outside, heading toward you, inevitable as sunrise. Passive construction, you receive victory, it comes to you. You don't create it, earn it, build it. Just wait for its arrival. And that passivity, that waiting for victory to come instead of going toward it, creating it, becoming victorious through action rather than reception, that's the real blindness. That's what you're not seeing. That's what some part of you doesn't want acknowledged. Because acknowledging it would mean taking responsibility, would mean admitting that victory doesn't come, it's made through choices, through consistent action, through refusing to wait for external circumstances to align in your favor and taking that responsibility, that agency, that ownership of your own success or lack thereof. That's terrifying. That means you can't blame timing or circumstances or people who don't want you to see things. That means it's on you. Always has been, always will be. Breathing shallow like lungs forgot how to expand fully. Let's dissect this differently. Someone doesn't want you to see this. Assume it's true. Assume there genuinely is a person or entity or force working to keep you ignorant, blind, stuck where you are. Why? What's their motivation? What do they gain from your continued blindness? What threatens them about your sight, your awareness, your potential victory? Think about it. Really think, because if you can't articulate their motivation, if you can't explain what they lose when you win, then they're probably not real. They're projection, externalization of your own internal resistance dressed up as outside force. The enemy you're imagining wants you blind. That's just you not wanting to see, you not wanting to face whatever truth would require different choices than the ones you're making now. The opponent trying to suppress your victory, that's your own fear of success, your own attachment to familiar struggle, your own comfort with identifying as underdog, as blocked, as prevented from winning by forces beyond your control. You're fighting yourself, calling it someone else, hoping that framing makes the battle feel more noble, more dramatic, more worthy of eventual triumph. Throat tight, like words are stuck trying to escape. Victory is coming, okay? Let's say it's true. Let's say success, achievement, conquest of whatever you're struggling against, it's imminent, on its way, about to arrive. Then what? What happens after victory? What fills the space that struggle currently occupies? What do you do with yourself when there's no battle to fight, no opponent to resist, no underdog position to identify with? Because struggle can become identity, being blocked, being prevented, being the one who hasn't won yet, but victory is coming. That can become who you are, can become more comfortable than actually winning, can become the story you tell that explains why you are where you are without requiring you to change anything about how you operate. And if victory actually arrives, if you actually win, if the struggle actually ends, you lose the story, lose the explanation, lose the identity built around being on your way to victory rather than being victorious. So maybe some part of you doesn't want victory to come, wants it always approaching but never arriving, wants the promise without the delivery, wants the hope without the reality. Because reality would require you to be different, to operate from one instead of winning, to find new stories to tell about who you are and why. And that might be scarier than continued struggle. Fingers numb like circulation decided they don't matter. Someone doesn't want you to see this. See what? What's this? What information, what truth, what reality is supposedly being hidden from your awareness? I'll tell you, but you already know. You're just not admitting it. This thing you're not supposed to see. It's that you're complicit in your own stuckness, that you've made choices consistently that keep you exactly where you are. That victory isn't coming from outside, it's available inside, and you're the one who hasn't accessed it yet. That's what you're not seeing. That's what some part of you desperately doesn't want to acknowledge. Because acknowledging it would mean the power was always yours, the capacity was always present, the victory was always accessible, and you weren't taking it, weren't choosing it, weren't building it. You were waiting, hoping, expecting, blaming someone for trying to keep you from seeing what you've been refusing to look at. And that truth, that recognition, that's brutal. That's the thing you don't want to see. Not because someone's hiding it, but because seeing it means taking full ownership of where you are and choosing, actively choosing to create what you're waiting to receive. Chest hollow, like something was removed without permission. Victory is coming. Is it though? Based on what? What evidence supports that claim? What actions have you taken that make triumph inevitable? What patterns have you changed that make success logical outcome? Or is victory is coming just hope, just belief without foundation? Just something you need to be true so you keep going, keep waiting, keep existing in the gap between here and there without having to examine why the gap persists. Because if victory is coming, if it's genuinely approaching based on real changes you've implemented and real actions you've taken and real patterns you've shifted, you wouldn't need someone to tell you. You'd feel it, you'd know it, you'd see evidence in your daily experience. But if you're still seeking confirmation, still needing external voices to promise it's coming, still hoping that reading this means it must be true, then it's not coming. It's just wished for, just hoped for, just another way of staying passive while feeling like you're doing something. Wishing isn't action, hoping isn't creating, believing isn't building, and victory that comes without your active creation of it, that's luck, not triumph, not conquest, just fortunate circumstances that could disappear as easily as they arrived. Is that what you want? Luck-based success that requires no change from you? Or do you want victory you built, created, earned through becoming someone capable of sustaining it? Only you can answer. And the answer shows in what you do after reading this, not in what you feel or think or hope, in what you do. Jaw aches from grinding teeth I didn't realize were clenched. Someone doesn't want you to see this. Fine, let's play that out. Let's say it's absolutely true. Someone powerful invested in your failure, working actively to keep you blind. So what? What does their wanting matter against your choosing? What does their attempt to hide matter against your commitment to see? What does their preference for your blindness mean if you decide to look anyway? Nothing. It means nothing. Their wanting is irrelevant if you're taking action, if you're choosing sight over blindness, if you're creating victory instead of waiting for its arrival. But if you're using their supposed wanting as excuse, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're seeing the real function of this narrative. They don't want you to see. This becomes explanation for why you haven't seen it yet, becomes justification for continued blindness, becomes proof that you're fighting noble battle against forces trying to suppress you, when really, you're just not looking, not seeing, not acting on what's visible if you turn your attention toward it, and blaming someone for hiding what you're avoiding. That's easier than admitting you're the one who doesn't want to see. You're the one invested in blindness. You're the someone who doesn't want you to see this. Whole body shaking slightly, like earthquake happening internally. Victory is coming. Let's assume it's true one final time. Let's say success is inevitable, triumph is approaching, conquest of whatever you're struggling against is imminent. What changes right now? Today? This moment? What do you do differently knowing victory is coming versus not knowing? If the answer is nothing, if knowing or not knowing doesn't change your actions, your choices, your daily operation, then what's the point of the promise? What function does it serve except making waiting feel more tolerable? But if knowing victory is coming changes how you move through the world, changes what you're willing to try or risk or choose, then maybe you don't need the promise. Maybe you just need to decide to operate as if victory is inevitable regardless of whether it is. Maybe becoming victorious means acting victorious before circumstances confirm it, means choosing from one before winning arrives. It means being the person who has what you want before you have it so that having it becomes natural rather than shocking. And that doesn't require promises about coming victory. That just requires decision, commitment, choice, to operate differently starting now. No one can stop that. No one can hide that. No force external to you can prevent that. Only you can. By waiting for permission, for confirmation, for promise that victory is coming instead of going toward it yourself. So, are you going or waiting, creating or hoping, being victorious or waiting for victory to arrive? Don't tell me. Show yourself through what you choose next, through how you operate tomorrow, through whether you keep seeking promises or start building evidence. That's the only answer that matters. And no one can hide it from you if you're willing to see it. Truth isn't found in others' stories. It's discovered in your own silence. No predictions, just presence. Stay curious, stay awake.